Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your big homie Crooks the Great, aka CTG, and I'm back at you guys with another banger of an Undisputed video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about my biggest issue with Undisputed right now. Now, I know I could touch on a lot of things, and a lot of content creators have made videos talking about, the issues that they have with the game. And for the most part, I've stayed pretty positive about it. I've been very optimistic. I've tried to not let other people's opinions of the game sway mine. But that doesn't mean that just because I've been optimistic, I think the game is perfect or that I think the game is great, because I don't think the game is great. I play the game, I enjoy it for what it is right now, but I have a really big issue, right? So, and with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. My biggest issue with the game is the lack of a skill gap right now in Undisputed. In my opinion, it just feels like Undisputed right now, it really doesn't take much skill to win a fight, to win a boxing match. And that's not the way it should be. Boxers in real life, if we're trying to go and build a sim game, which I don't know if they're trying to do that with Undisputed or not. In real life boxing, normally the more technical boxer wins a majority of the time. Now, I get it, some boxers are sluggers. Some boxers they're able to just walk forward and take punishment and get in the pocket and exchange. But normally there's a skill gap that normally allows them to win boxing matches, and that's not really present in the game right now. I feel like things are way too easily spammable. People don't have to set up combinations. They'd rather just spam, which in itself is really irritating. Spamming hooks and having to deal with hook spammers in general. They're running away and creating angles that you cannot take away. Inside fighting is basically non-existent. Unless you're walking in literally trying to spam body hooks with Canelo or Julio Cesar Chavez or Roy Jones Jr. with his annoying ass in the game for right now. I love you, Roy, but the game, your character in the game is really broken. But yeah, there's just really a lack of skill gap and consistency in the game, and I feel like that's one of the bigger issues that I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people are talking about tracking, which I have been one. A lot of people are talking about desync, which is a really big part. But I feel like not a lot of people are talking about the lack of a skill gap when it comes to Undisputed. Now, maybe fixing the tracking with the next patch is going to kind of create a little bit of a skill gap. But in my opinion, the skill gap is not going to get widened, and people are not going to have to learn how to play the game properly until they fix the hooks. Hook spamming right now is one of the most predominantly used things. Like, people they'll come out and try to box you. They'll come out and try to actually box you. But then once they start getting down and they realize that there's a skill gap, they're like, oh, let me switch. I'm just going to switch up to throwing hooks. And depending on who you're using, like I was using Caleb Plant last night, depending on who you're using, hook spam could be ridiculously hard to have to deal with. Like, especially if you're fighting a Roy Jones Jr., like I said, him spamming, the rear body hook. It's ridiculously fast. It's hard to counter. And then, it sets up his overhand left, his overhand right. He can come up top and start spamming hooks as well. So it really can create really big issues and kind of just close the skill gap, which is not the way, in my opinion, a boxing game really should be. And any combat sports game. This goes with the UFC as well. UFC, I remember for a while, also had the same problem. People were abusing mechanics, or, the skill gap just really wasn't present enough. And the game wasn't allowing you to really create a big enough skill gap to where, you could outwit your opponent in a match, But the same issue, unfortunately, is also happening with Undisputed right now. There's just no skill gap, and I feel like if they could take steps in the right direction to head for a skill gap, the better it'll be. Because then, it'll make spammers actually have to rethink the way that they're going to play. Because in my opinion, I don't normally I'll get irritated with spammers. But I can only be irritated with them so much because the game it allows them to do that. Right? So we need the game, we need Undisputed, we need Steel City to go in and really fix these things to force players to actually have to play the game the right way. And if they're able to do that with consistency, then I feel like the community in whole will be in a lot better place. It really, really will be. You know, a lot more people will enjoy playing the game because now everybody is playing on a neutral field instead of, hey, you know, if I just choose to come out and hook spam you, I'm gonna win. And if you try to throw something other than a hook, you're gonna lose. So I feel like the community will be, and the game itself will be in a lot better of a place if we're able to, you know, take steps in the right direction to get the consistency and to create a little bit of a skill gap. So that way, you know, people aren't just having so much success with abusing broken mechanics. You feel what I'm saying? But that's my opinion. That's my biggest issue. What is your guys' biggest issue with Undisputed? Is it a skill cap? Is it the tracking? Is it the, is it the lack of inside fighting? Is it loose footwork? Is it desync? I want to hear your guys' opinion on what you guys think is wrong. Your biggest issue with Undisputed right now. Please drop a comment in the comment section. I'm going to be responding to every single comment in this video. But that's it from me, my people. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button as well as slap that like button. It would be much appreciated. So that way this video does get tossed into the YouTube algorithm and more people get to enjoy the great content that we do have here on the channel. But until next time, my people, take it easy, be safe, enjoy the rest of your guys' day, afternoon, evening, depending on where you guys are watching this from. And I will see you guys in the next video.